Canada might not have a marquee or elite World Cup nation to prepare for the World Cup, but Ireland in their final preparation match, their final send-off game, is the ideal match and ideal opponent to send Canada off to the World Cup. This is a very good opponent for Stade Saputo in Montreal to round off the friendlies of Tunisia, Iceland, and Uzbekistan, as Ireland will challenge Canada in the right way, will look to break down Canada and hit them with their flaws. As Ireland is a strong defensive unit, is a very disciplined side defensively across 90 minutes, and are very good attacking wise in transition. And those things are exactly what Canada struggles with against a opponent. And this Canadian side has struggled against a low block, which is why playing a side that will test Canada in their biggest flaw, in their final send-off game, is the perfect way to send Canada to the World Cup. But it is simply because if Canada can beat Ireland, if they can do it commandingly, convincingly, and put up a good scoreline while beating and breaking down something they have struggled with in the past, will be a massive confidence booster for this Canadian side, especially in a stadium that will give off World Cup atmosphere, a World Cup vibe. Will be a sold-out Stade Saputo in Montreal with a heavy Canadian and Ireland fan base. This is a great test because Canada has struggled against that low block. They have struggled with their patience, with their calmness, and finding that final ball to give a good chance to score. And to break down that low block, that is what Canada has lacked. And doing it against a quality goalkeeper in Quim Kelleher and a strong Irish back line that is very resilient and is very difficult to break down will be the perfect test for Canada. Especially when Canada is in a group against two European opponents. That will give Canada the confidence and the belief that they can do it against their other opponents in their groups. That is just a great and smart addition to the teams they are already playing in the lead up to the World Cup. Because Ireland is the right team to send Canada off with for the World Cup. Especially transitionally. They have Troy Parrott up top, a player that can hurt Canada in transition. Ireland will look to break down Canada in the counter, in the transition. And when Canada has looked a bit shaky defensively, it is transitionally. Because when Canada gets set up, when they get set up in their system, in their unit, defensively, they're almost next to impossible to break down now under Jesse Marsch. But when you get their defenders running, when you get them turning towards their own goal, they can be break down. There can be a bit of shakiness in that Canadian back line in transition. That has been the one time under Jesse Marsch in recent history that they look like there's a few flaws in that back line. But if they can do this against Troy Parrott, against this Irish attacking third, there is that extra bit of confidence for that Canadian back line while still building chemistry and sending them off to the World Cup. That would be a huge boost. So booking Ireland as that final send-off game, booking Ireland as your final opponent. Yes, it's not a sexy name. Yes, it's not a top 10, even a top 20 opponent to send you off to the World Cup to boost the hype around Canadian casual supporters for the World Cup. But this is a side that has done very well in World Cup qualifying, has had one of the most historic moments in their sporting history in World Cup qualifiers. They'll be on a high. They're, yes, currently not qualified for the World Cup at time of recording as they're still in the playoff, but even if they don't make it through the playoff, Ireland will come and will try to prove a point against Canada. Will try and have a major win against Canada in a friendly. And this is going to be a huge atmosphere. This is going to be a very exciting World Cup send-off game against an Irish opponent that are on the ascendancy, that are playing better football, and do have a very good squad building in Ireland. Between Troy Parrott, between Quim Kelleher, this is a solid unit. And they're still building. And looking to beat a World Cup host, whether they're in the World Cup or not, it'll be a very good test for Canada, simply down to Canada needs to win. Canada needs to have a big announcement when they win this game. This has to be the right way to send yourself to the World Cup, and doing that by beating your European opposition by 2 or 3 goals and boosting the hype, the excitement around this Canadian team for the World Cup would be the exact way to do so. With a group filled with European opponents in a side in Ireland that will test Canada at their flaws, this is the right way to send off your nation. Yes, it would have been more exciting to do it against a marquee opponent, but if Canada got thrashed 3-4-0 going into the World Cup, the confidence might not be so high. Doing it against a Irish side where there's more hope, there's more excitement against the 59th ranked nation in the world, there is the ability to send yourself off with confidence and with belief the right way. And playing Ireland might not be so exciting, but I think it's the perfect opponent. It's the perfect send-off for this Canadian side for the World Cup, and there should be nothing but positivity around Canada playing Ireland at the Stade Saputo in Montreal. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Would you have wanted to see a top 10 nation? Of course, there's stuff around that as well that affects having a top 10 nation. Is Ireland a good enough match? Are they the right way to send Canada off? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure to smash that like button, guys. It really helps out the content as well as the video. Hit that sub button if you're enjoying all the best CanadaMNT content here on the channel. And let's continue to push to 1,000 subscribers before the World Cup. But I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.